excited to be here for Leadership TCC Graduation and Advanced Leadership TCC Graduation, and we'll start with our president and a few remarks from him.
Wow, okay. We'll just jump right in. First question I got to ask is, why is no one in the front row? Except for Leadership 101. 201. Wow, this is remarkable, and I was so thrilled we have a 100% completion rate. You know, that's really now I'm counting on placements. Move on to the next measure. As I look around, it's so nice to see you all here, and participation and graduation in this program is something so important for us as a college. It feels like just about every week now I'm in a conversation about the future of the college and the need to make sure that the next generation is getting ready to be competitive for positions. Those who are teeing up to retire really enjoy telling me that, by the way. That's why I feel like every week I'm in these conversations. So it's very exciting. And I could not be more optimistic when I see the participation of each of you in this program, knowing that you will be in strong competition for the future positions of this college. And perhaps someday I'll come back and visit one of you as president. That would be kind of cool. But again, thank you for your effort in this program. I know it's fun, but I also know that it's work. And so for taking the time to invest in yourself, which helps invest in the college, I just want to say thank you. And I want to tell you how proud I am to be affiliated with this and how much fun it is for me to watch. And how Karinda and everybody who helps Karinda, because nobody does this stuff alone, I'm so grateful for the effort that you put into this to make this program what it is. But I'm looking forward to seeing you all graduate. Remember, the tassel moves from I'm going to sit in the front row.
Next, we've asked Kate Stewart to reflect a little bit on mentoring. When you think about people who do some wonderful mentoring on campus, Kate's name is definitely one that comes to mind. So, Kate, thank you very much for coming today and sharing with us. We appreciate it.
Not a problem. Well, it's a little bit of a problem because I saw the topic that I'm supposed to be talking about, which is not at all what I prepared, so what can I say? I guess that makes me a leader and not a follower. Okay, I just put together a few slides, only 8, and you may find this to be kind of an odd title, but after putting this together, I decided to call this presentation, What Was I Thinking? And, before I go any further, for those of you who don't know me, I am Kate Stewart. I'm Dean of TPP, and I've been here just a little over 30 years, so I don't know, I guess after a while they find out you've been here and are going to ask you to do things, so here I am. But why I named this presentation as such is because about 2 weeks ago I was sitting in my office, minding my own business, and the phone rang, and it was Karinda. I thought, should I pick it up or not? No, I picked it up.
First ring. Call it from your phone.
And she started out the same way with some nice glowing comment, and then she said, would you mind talking at the leadership graduation? Well, I was so enamored with what she had said about me, all those nice things, that I said, of course I will. That is wonderful. I'll be glad to do so. That was 2 weeks ago. So then, I kind of put that off to the background because it was going to be a little ways away. And probably Monday of this week, I started thinking about, what was I going to talk about at this leadership event? And I thought, I've taken a few doctoral courses in leadership. I guess I'm in a leadership position. I've done some workshops. I know my colors. I know my strengths. But I really don't know a whole lot about leadership. So I thought, okay, don't panic. Do what any other red-blooded American would do. And I did that. I got online and I Googled as fast as I could presentations on leadership. And lo and behold, there are several 100,000 complete PowerPoints, videos, speeches, you name it, on leadership. And I thought, well, no one will ever know if I just change the, created by, I could do that. And so I thought, okay, I'm safe. Well, that couple days went by and I, didn't think about it until last night. And so last night I sat down casually to start viewing these beautifully made presentations, and they were just awful. If I'm gonna steal something, I want to at least steal something good. But they were nice, but they were very dry, and they had hundreds of definitions on each slide, and the categories and the discussions about is it nature versus nurture and all of that kind of stuff. And I fell asleep looking at one, so I thought I probably shouldn't present that. That would probably not be a good thing to do. So then I thought, okay, how do I usually start a presentation? And we all have our little tricks. Sometimes I try to find a quote from a famous person. There are lots of quotes about leadership and mentoring, but they're awfully gooey and warm and fuzzy, and I thought, maybe, but they're not quite me. And then I started to look at the cartoons about leadership. And half of them I didn't understand, so I thought I probably better not go that way. So then I thought, well, I'll try the old tried and true. And I thought, why don't I just pull up the definition of leadership, and we could go through all of these attributes and have a wonderful discussion on leadership. And at that point in time, I thought, no, that's not going to work either. Because you've done that. You've spent a year doing readings and talking about all the things that you think a leader is or isn't, how to fine-tune your skills, just all the things that are encapsulated there, but I wanted it to be a little bit different. So my last desperate attempt was, maybe I'll make this interactive. I'll get a ball and I'll throw it at people. They have to stand up and talk about leadership. Well, I figured that probably wasn't the best approach either, since I think you've been throwing balls for about a year, haven't you? So I thought, all right, I'm just going to figure it out and come up with something. So I remembered in the recent past, and the only reason that URL is on there is because I was terrified I wouldn't get my video to work. I had seen a presentation, it's only about 2 minutes long, on CNN. I was really impressed by the presentation. And I thought, it's this 15-year-old boy who is doing something, and you'll see in a minute. But it really encapsulates the essence of what I think leadership and mentorship should be. So, hopefully this will work.
September is back to school, and for most kids it means back to school shopping. I used to take those things for granted until I realized that there were a lot of kids who didn't have those sort of luxuries. I remember my first shelter visit, seeing kids who were just like me, the only difference being they had footwear that was falling apart.
I was nervous to go back to school. My shoes were old and too small for me.
When I lost my job, I had to decide either to spend money on the shoes or medicine or diapers.
Kids get blisters on their feet because they have to wear whatever shoes they can get. It just wasn't right. My name is Nicholas Lowinger. I'm 15 and I give new shoes to kids living in homeless shelters across the country. My family's garage is filled to the brim with boxes full of new shoes. Shelters send us orders with the kid's name, gender, shoe size. I have donated new sneakers to over 10,000 kids in 21 states.
Thank you!
Homeless children, they shouldn't have to worry about how they'll be accepted or how they'll fit in.
Tiana?
Wow!
It's more than just giving them a new pair of shoes. I I'm helping kids be kids. Their self-esteem goes up. Their whole attitude on life changes. That's really what makes it so special for me.
So I thought that was pretty inspirational, and I thought if all of us were like that, wouldn't the world be a better place? Because he is really just a natural leader and a natural mentor, and it just so happened to be, and oops, I hate technology. No. But my favorite part of the whole little snippet is that he, without even realizing, says it's more than just giving them a new pair of shoes. And that is what the focus is. All these young people get new shoes, some for the first time ever. But what he stresses is that he can see a change in them. He sees their self-esteem rise. He sees their confidence rise. And so he's really making a difference, one child at a time, and he's already touched 10,000 children. And I really think that that's what all of you are here for, so that you can learn and practice those things that help people be the best that they can possibly be. So I thought, well, you need to realize that by having this experience, by being chosen amongst your peers, by being recognized today, that you've been given a gift. And most gifts are lots of fun to receive, but this one has a little bit of a price tag attached to it. So I just wanted you, when you left today with your goodies and all the nice food and congratulations, I just want you to think about the fact that this gift requires some payback on your part. And so I guess I have a couple questions. One is, do you realize now what your responsibilities are? You've been given the opportunity, probably one of the greatest opportunities, to make a difference in someone's life. You may not be sending them shoes, but you have to choose what's special about you that will help make that happen. Excuse me. And then I thought, well, as a computer science person, I love flowcharts. And this is one of my favorites because I think leadership and mentorship is all about paying it forward. The college has spent money on you, given you time, given you lots of resources to use, and now it's your chance, your gift, your time, your opportunity to pay it forward, which is one of my most favorite movies, because how can a world be bad if everybody practices this particular mantra, pay it forward? So last, I think, but not least, I am going to give you a challenge when you exit this room today, and that is this. With all the opportunities and the chances you've been given, how will you take those and mold those? In other words, how will you distribute your new shoes? So thank you for listening, and congratulations. It's really nice to see these fresh, young leadership type faces, and good luck.
Thank you. Now we get to the goodies. Before we get to the goodies, I do want to take a minute to say that President Murdaugh is right. There are so many people that support this program and that go into the making of this event. And let me start with this, is that those of you who are participants, you either saw something in yourself and said, hey, I'm gonna stick a toe in the water and try this out, or someone saw something in you and said, oh, no, come on, go. You need to get involved. And you took this opportunity. You filled out the application. You came to the events. We had a great time, lots of laughs. We met some neat people, Bill Brill, Luis Garcia, a lot of people along the way. We've traveled, we've toured, we've seen a lot about TCC. So I really hope that, one, you've gotten a lot out of it in terms of what you've learned about leadership, first of all, but that also you've networked with each other, and then with the folks that we've introduced you to, and that you know more about TCC. You really feel now like you can be a true ambassador of TCC, because that's part of what we want you to have that experience with. Lauren Fletcher has been my right-hand buddy, just helping me through all this. With all of many times, done some wonderful job there. Tavarius has done a great job of making sure that this didn't happen in isolation, because one of the things that the president said to me when I said, I want to do this, is he said that this can't happen in isolation. And so each month, you've seen we put out the newsletter, and we put out your pictures, and we've told what we've been doing and what's going on so that other people are aware of that. So, and I encourage you to continue sharing that. It's been fun to see y'all grow. And many of you have really grown a lot, have stepped up and really taken this awesome opportunity and made the best of it. And I know every month you've gotten these emails from me. I make them do reflections, because one of the things that we often, especially as leaders, and the busier we get, we don't have the opportunity to reflect. And that is so important. It's hard to do. It really is hard to take that time. But even just a few minutes of just really putting something on paper, it makes it concrete. And those reflections become thoughts. And those thoughts become actions, and those actions become behavior that we change in the things that we do. So really, this is a program that as much as you put into it, we're handing the reflections back to you. We don't read them, we don't grade them, we don't do anything like that. We hand them back to you in a packet all together so that you can remember that and reflect on that. And as you move forward as a leader, give yourself that time. Even if it's in the morning or if it's before you go to bed, just a minute to, kind of put into words, put into writing what those reflections are. What happened today? What went well? What do I want to do again? What could have gone better? It really makes a difference in that moving forward. And I know some of y'all have reflected that back to us, so thank you very much for sharing that. The other thing that we want to do is we want to continue your professional development. You will be receiving a book. Unfortunately, they haven't all come in yet. Purchasing issues. But you will be receiving this book, and it's called Academic Day by Day. I love this thing. It is one of those books where, you've got this real short little paragraph to read for that day about being here, and it's things like celebrate something, open yourself to persuasion, thank someone, document your success, read your institution's strategic plan. Yay! So but really, take advantage of this, and then the thing I will encourage you to do is after you use this for a year, share it with somebody else. Or if you need to go through it again, go ahead and go through it again. But, pass these kind of things on. So you will be receiving that. We also have certificates, and we also have some wonderful awards for you. So at this time, I would like to ask President Murdaugh to come up and to help me distribute these to each of the folks. And when you come up slowly. The president will hand you the stuff, and he will take pictures. So make sure you turn around and smile at Tavarius there, okay? First off. Happens after Leadership TCC, anybody who is participating in that program is eligible to go on into Advanced Leadership TCC. The way that program works is it's a year-long program where we set you up with a mentor, and we give you the opportunity to develop a leadership plan of your choosing where you can take these knowledge, skills, and abilities that you've learned and you've enhanced and move forward and really apply them and put them to work here at TCC. We've had some folks do job shadowing, we've had people do all kinds of different projects, and we have two folks that we want to recognize today, and they're going to talk for 5 minutes or less about their proposals or what they did, and then we will recognize them afterwards. So, Gareth Urich, alphabetically speaking, you come first.
Before I worked at TCC, I taught for 9 years at the liberal arts college in the Midwest. And my wife and I, we got a job down here, And on the last day of work, I did the drive around the campus, saying goodbye to the buildings. And it dawned on me as I left the campus, I had only been in 50% of those buildings on that campus. And I'd been there for 9 years. And as I left, I said, that's not happening again. And so I was fortunate enough to get a job at TCC. And I applied for leadership TCC for two primary reasons. First, I wanted to develop my leadership skills. And the second is I wanted to see all of those buildings. I wanted to go everywhere and see what we do. Because I only do a small sliver. I do the AA, well, it's a biggish sliver, but I only do part of it, which is the AA degree. And we do many more things. And in Leadership TCC, that's what you've done this year. I mean, I know that I was taken to Julie Brody's art classroom, which I didn't know existed, even though I'm in the same division. You know that. So I wanted to do those two things. And my takeaway from Leadership TCC was a sense that we create an incredible amount of talent every day on this campus, both in academics, workforce, all of our sites. We create an incredible amount of talent. And that was my big takeaway. But I didn't know what to do with that realization. Leadership TCC ended. And I was thinking, what can I do for Advanced Leadership TCC? I didn't know. But summer arrived, and I read the paper every morning, and there was a story in the paper about something called the Knight Creative Communities Initiative. And this is based in Tallahassee and a couple of other cities. And very briefly, what it does is, it's an organisation that attempts to operationalise Richard Florida's argument in his book, The Rise of the Creative Class. What it says is that if communities want to thrive and prosper, they need to create an environment, an urban environment, which is attractive to this new creative class, who are generally young, well-educated, professional, and very much like the people we create every day. And I suddenly thought, well, it's beginning to make sense here, because we create these people, and we perhaps need to create an urban environment which is going to be attractive to these people. The argument is the people will come anyway, then the companies will come for the people with the good jobs, and everybody's a winner, was the argument. So I thought, okay, I'd be interested, and what they were doing is they were looking for members of the community to apply to this program, whereby we get to seed these projects in the community. And I thought, oh, I could do that. And I wasn't thinking much beyond, like, I wasn't thinking advanced TCC, but then I happened to think, well, I needed a recommendation letters, and I asked Dr. Murdaugh and Robin Johnston and Kim Moore, and then I happened to notice that the latter two were on the board of KCCI, and then I thought, well, I'm going to be working in the community, and absent Dr. Murdaugh, there's probably nobody on this campus who knows more about the community than does Robin Johnston, and all of a sudden the stars aligned. It seemed to make complete sense, and what we could do here is we create these people, and now I can actually be part of creating a place where they're going to, the term they use is sticky, right? So we get them to stay here after they've graduated. So let me tell you about the project. How it works is they get about 30 people from across the community, and over 3 days, thank you Marge for the professional leave to do that, over 3 days you brainstorm a whole bunch of ideas, and then slowly you vote them down, and you end up with 3 projects that you're going to work on in groups. This year, well, in previous years, the Revitalised Games was one of those, and also the Cascades Park Initiative. This year there were 3, which was development of the Frenchtown Market, Farmers Market. The other was developing a sense of place for the downtown area. And the third part, the third project, which I was part of, is called Tallahassee Music Week. You may not know that in April 2015, there's going to be a marquee cultural event called Word of the South. And what Tallahassee Music Week is going to be is orchestrated but seemingly spontaneous overflowings of music in unusual places. So we're going to try and get bands and basically musicians to play in banks, supermarkets, wherever non-traditional venues, and this will be a build-up for the Word of the South. The experience has been quite transformative for me, actually, for a couple of reasons. One is, I've only ever lived in the academy. I mean, that's all I've ever known, and actually getting to work with people, bright, energetic, committed people outside of the academy was really interesting, because this is the only thing I know in that way, so that was good. The other part of it was working with Robin Johnston. He is such a resource for the ways in which the community is involved with TCC with the community. That has been very eye-opening for me, and he has been more than kind of generous with his time and advice. And the third was actually just doing a project where I could use some of the tools I learned in Leadership TCC and doing a project from the beginning to the end. It's very rare in life that one's in at the moment when somebody says, how about we do a music thing? Until the actual moment when that takes place. And so that's been exciting doing that. I just want to end with an exhortation, which is, I mean, when I was sitting where you were last year, I was racking my mind sort of thinking, what on earth am I going to do for Leadership TCC? And you can't, for Advanced Leadership TCC, and you can't force it to come along. But what I would say is, you got two things out of this program, which was, you've learned a lot about the place, and then you also learned some tools. Put those together, may not be this year, next year, whatever, but something really exciting can happen. And it will just happen out of the blue. And I want to thank, the usual thanks, Karinda and Lauren run the tightest and most productive ship on campus with CTLL. I think it's absolutely wonderful. And Jim Murdaugh, of course, for the support of these programs. Thanks.
Thank you, Gareth. It's been fun to watch you grow through that experience. And next we have Jenny Wagner, who's going to talk about her program and what she did. Thanks, Jenny.
I'm definitely a planner, so I wrote mine several months ago. After Leadership TCC, the advanced path was calling. A proposal and application were filled without stalling. An ambitious plan to blog by the week, reflecting on a promotion that I didn't actually seek. Write weekly and post about progress so grand that others could follow to the administrative promised land. Create a program chair's mini manual for training, no task untaught, no knowledge gap remaining. My division dean, Alice Need, smiled knowingly and yet signed and encouraged me unswervingly. My mentor assigned couldn't have been greater, Debbie Robinson, both delightful and a fellow Gator. We met and discussed my visions, goals, and plans, conquests and crises with critics and fans. I struggled and worked and figured things out, wrestled with fear, dismay, and self-doubt, blogged when I had something worthy to share that was more than complaining about life not being fair. Candace Grouse, as an editor, was a real trooper, as she screened my blogs to avoid major bloopers. So, my first year as program chair has now passed. Through trials and tears, I had a blast. No, there is no manual, no guide, no easy reference, but come, talk it through, and you can make a difference. Develop relationships with leaders, achievers, and change the campus with like-minded believers. Thank you, Drs. Murdaugh, Sloan, and Barrett. For advanced leadership, TCC is worthy of merit.
And leadership requires creativity, right? Thank you, Jenny. It's been very fun to watch you go from being the left-hand leader and to step into those roles, so definitely watching. So now, Dr. Murdaugh, if you'll come up and help me officially recognize them. Very, very appreciate it. For them, here, you just told a little bit about what they're getting. In addition to their certificate and award, we are giving them a little card holder because we want to remind you to continue networking and supporting others and building your own network. So. Thank you. Well, just to wrap it up, there's a few things I would like to say again. Boxes. Oh, yes. Thank you. Yes. Lauren's always keeping me straight. But a few things I do want to take the time to say. I would definitely like to thank Barbara Sloan for your support. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to do this and be involved in these programs. And Jim, I can't thank you enough for the time that you take out of your busy schedule to come interact with us and to have these incredible conversations. And they truly are incredible, and it's fun to watch people step out of their comfort zone and to talk to you about issues that are really true to their hearts, and for you to share your perspective and what you value and more about the college. So thank you very much for that. It's fun. Good stuff. So, on that note, just a couple little housekeeping things. Your awards came in boxes, and there was a Michael Jackson glove in your boxes that will clean them and keep them nice. So those are over there in a box if you can pick those up on your way out. But before you do that, we would like to get a picture of the whole class. So if the whole class will come up, and if we can get Leadership TCC and President Murdaugh, if you will come up too. Come on up and we'll just put everybody up here. Yeah, between the signs. We go the hopes of the signs. Yeah. Okay, Brandie, you gonna talk us through? Yes. Lauren.
Oh, what? Oh, over here? Okay.